Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
The bustling intergalactic market of Zarnath glittered under the radiant suns of the alien world. Stalls adorned with colorful fabrics, exotic fruits, and strange contraptions lined the cobbled streets, creating a symphony of sights and sounds that overwhelmed the senses. Sounds of bartering echoed through the air, mingling with the melodic calls of vendors from countless species, advertising their wares with animated gestures. Alex, a human in his late 20s with tousled hair and keen blue eyes, navigated through the throng, his heart pounding with anticipation. In this vibrant tapestry of life and commerce, the market was known for one thing above all: the slave exchange. Here, lives were bought and sold like commodities, a dark underbelly beneath the market's lively exterior. Sentient beings from various planets and races were on display, some nervous, others defiant, and many resigned to their fate. A deep-seated sense of unease twisted in Alex's gut, amplifying his internal struggle as he recalled the true purpose of his visit. As an undercover operative for the Intergalactic Alliance, Alex had a mission: infiltrate the market to gather intelligence on the smuggling ring that operated in the shadows, leveraging slave labor to fuel their trade routes. His orders had been clear: acquire valuable information, but also to maintain his identity as a human with a conscience. He had trained for this, prepared to confront the moral complexities of his task, yet the reality of the slave exchange was far heavier than he expected. Alex paused, his gaze drawn to a gathering of buyers around a display. Curiously, he maneuvered closer and soon saw her. Lyra. She stood out against the background of uniformity, an alien with luminescent skin, her striking features accentuated by delicate markings that glowed faintly. Her long, dark hair cascaded like a waterfall over her shoulders, framing a face that embodied both beauty and sadness. Alex felt an inexplicable pull toward her, a gravity that seemed to transcend the chaos around them. As the auctioneer's voice droned on, Alex forced himself to focus. He knew that if he allowed his emotions to dictate his actions, he could jeopardize not only his mission, but also Lyra's chance at freedom. She was beautiful, yes, but she was also a person caught in a brutal system. He had to remind himself of that, of the stakes involved. The moment of truth arrived when Lyra's eyes met his. For a fleeting second, a connection sparked between them, an understanding, a plea for help that cut through the noise. Her expression was a mixture of fear and defiance, igniting a fire within Alex's heart. Abandoning his mission by buying her freedom felt reckless, yet he couldn't shake off the growing sense of urgency he felt to take action. As the auctioneer beckoned for bids, Alex's internal conflict reached a crescendo. The crowd surged forward, leaving humanity's ethics at the door. Yet, for all the complexities surrounding him, one thing became painfully clear: he could no longer stand by as Lyra was objectified. Taking a deep breath, Alex raised his hand, his voice firm as he called out, "I'll take her." The auctioneer's eyes widened in surprise, and a hush fell over the crowd. Gasps rippled through the buyers, voices murmuring in disbelief. Alex felt the weight of scrutiny upon him, but held his ground, his heart racing. He was about to change the course of both their lives in a way he had never anticipated. The auctioneer, still flustered by Alex's unexpected bid, quickly regained his composure. "A bold move, human," he proclaimed, raising an eyebrow. The murmurs of the crowd swelled around them, a mixture of intrigue and disbelief. "The beautiful Lyra is a rare specimen indeed. Very well. What shall be your offer?" Alex's mind raced. He knew that freeing Lyra would likely cost him a fortune, more than he had on him. But in that moment, all he could think of was her piercing gaze and the plea hidden within it. "I'll offer 1,000,000 credits, he declared, his voice steady despite the rapid beating of his heart. The crowd erupted in astonished gasps. Silence followed, punctuated only by the frenetic scratching of fingers on buttons as other buyers reevaluated the situation. The auctioneer, momentarily caught off guard, hastily called for competing bids, but Alex's offer proved intimidating. 1,000,000 credits would buy more than just Lyra, It would seal Alex's reputation as a man of wealth and influence in desperate situations. Yet, beneath that facade lurked desperation. He didn't have that kind of money, but there was no turning back now. The sensation of rising panic began to bubble within him, but as he locked eyes with Lyra again, it dissipated. Her look was one of astonishment, then something deeper. Hope mingled with fear. Going once, going twice, the auctioneer's voice droned, raising the stakes while increasing the tension in Alex. The crowd hesitated, a standoff of wealthy buyers paralyzed by his audacity. It felt surreal as he bit his lip, uttering a silent plea for the auctioneer to conclude the sale before someone else stepped in. Sold! The gavel struck, and a wave of discontent rippled through the crowd. Alex felt a swell of triumph, followed closely by a pang of dread. He motioned Lyra to come forth, his eyes fixed on her as she was released from the shackles that had defined her existence for too long. As she stepped down from the platform, the atmosphere shifted. Lyra's movements were tentative, filled with uncertainty and disbelief. Alex stepped forward to meet her, and as she drew closer, he could see the storm of emotions playing across her face. "Why?" she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "Why would you do this?" Alex's heart ached at the vulnerability she displayed. "I couldn't let them keep you," he replied earnestly. "No one deserves to be treated like this." Her brow furrowed in confusion. "You must understand. I don't know what it means to be free. I've been conditioned to accept my fate." "I'm not asking you to accept anything," he said, his voice steady yet soft. "I want to help you find your path." Lyra's eyes searched his, and for the first time, Alex saw a flicker of trust. She took a hesitant step forward, lowering her head ever so slightly, not in submission, but as an offer of mutual understanding. "Then show me," she said, her voice growing stronger. As they made their way through the market, Lyra and Alex quickly became an anomaly. Her luminous presence alongside his determined demeanor turned heads. Yet they were not unscathed. Whispers followed them like shadows, anticipation budding from the other buyers, who had not been so easily deterred. "Where do we go now?" Lyra asked as they moved away from the chaotic crowd. "To a safe place until we can figure everything out," he replied. "Somewhere far from here." They navigated the streets, Alex leading the way with growing confidence, despite the nagging feeling of eyes upon them. Finally, they found refuge within a quaint tavern boasting intergalactic fare. He ordered 2 alien delicacies, aiming for an atmosphere that would feel somewhat normal amidst the chaos of their newly entwined lives. As they settled into a secluded booth, Lyra's eyes wandered, taking in the eclectic mix of patrons from various species. It was foreign yet intoxicating. "What's happening to me?" she asked. "You've changed everything in a blink." Alex leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. "You're someone deserving of a choice. Not everyone gets that chance." Her expression softened, vulnerable yet curious. "And you? What do you get from this?" "I get the satisfaction of doing what's right," he answered truthfully. "More than that, I get to meet you, to find out who you are beneath the surface." For a moment, they were silent, a world of possibility opening up before them like the galaxies themselves, vast and unexplored. The tavern buzzed with laughter and conversation, a cacophony of voices from various species and cultures that created an atmosphere Alex hoped would comfort Lyra. The two shared their meals, watching as patrons exchanged stories, unaware of the gravity of the lives unfolding at their table. "What's it like to be free?" Lyra asked, breaking the silence that had settled over them. Her gaze was intense, searching Alex's face for answers. "It's different for everyone, I suppose. For me, it's about choice," Alex replied, reflecting on his own life. "I'm free in ways that allow me to pursue my ambitions, face danger, and revel in the beauty of this universe. But used poorly, freedom can lead to chaos. It's a balance." Lyra studied him, her luminous eyes filled with wonder. "And what about love? Is that part of freedom?" His heart raced at her question. "Absolutely, if you choose it. It can bind you or liberate you. It's powerful." "Then I have so much to learn." A shadow passed across her features, and Alex caught the hint of fear in her expression. What if I can never be free from what they've done to me? What if I cannot learn to love? Alex sought to reassure her. You already know how to feel, Lyra. You showed me that when you looked at me. It's just a matter of embracing it. They shared an electric moment, their eyes locked. Two souls confronting the shadows of their past. With that connection came a warmth, a profound bond starting to form amid the chaos. Over the next few days, Alex guided Lyra through the basics of survival in her newfound freedom. They shared stories and experiences, each revelation deepening their connection. Lyra began to learn about human customs while teaching Alex about her own, immersing him in the beautiful poetry of her language, meals made with alien spices, and music that stirred emotions he had yet to comprehend. One evening, as they lounged outside a secluded cabin he had rented on the outskirts of Zarnath, Lyra opened up about her life before the auction. I was born into servitude. My family, they traded me for credits. I thought I would never escape that fate. Her voice trembled, and Alex felt a pang of empathy. You're not bound by that fate anymore. You can choose your path, he said softly, grasping her hand. It was a simple gesture, but loaded with meaning, an unspoken promise that he would be there for her. I've seen what love can do to a person, Lyra said, her expression grave. It can destroy or save them, right? But I don't know if I can trust it. If I can trust you. It's okay to feel unsure, Alex replied, determined not to rush her. Building trust takes time, but I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. That promise hung in the air between them, and Lyra, moved by his words, leaned closer. Thank you for showing me kindness, she whispered, her voice barely a breath. The exchange encouraged Alex, and he leaned in as well, his heart racing. He was suddenly aware of the closeness between them, the electric tension crackling with unspoken words. I want to protect you. I want more than anything for you to feel safe, he murmured. As the days passed, moments of intimacy bloomed like wildflowers. They ventured out for stargazing, the vast cosmos stretching endlessly above them. Lyra would often lean against Alex's shoulder, her head nestled near him, feeling comfort in his presence. One night, beneath a particularly vivid tapestry of stars, Lyra turned to Alex, her eyes reflecting the celestial light. Can I ask you something more personal? Of course, he replied, intrigued. If I were to pursue this love, how would it feel? Her question was bold, yet her vulnerability hinted at caution. Alex took a deep breath. It feels like a wildfire, warm, consuming, dangerously thrilling, but it's also beautiful and passionate. With the right person, it can bring you home to yourself. As Lyra processed his words, he could see her grappling with emotions she had never allowed herself to explore. Slowly, she reached out, intertwining her fingers with his, a tentative bridge that felt like the foundation of trust they were building. In that moment, time seemed to pause. The air crackled with possibilities as their eyes locked, two worlds colliding with potential. Leaning in, Alex brushed his lips against Lyra's, a feather-light kiss full of tenderness and promise. Lyra's response was instinctive. She leaned into him, deepening the kiss, igniting a spark that surged between them. It was new, exhilarating, and unlike anything either had experienced before. As they parted, breaths mingled in the cool night air, both of them smiling shyly. You've opened something within me, Lyra admitted, a soft blush on her cheeks. I never thought I could feel this way. Let's keep exploring it together, step by step, Alex encouraged, his heart brimming with hope. The moments hung heavy with uncharted territory, offering a glimpse of what lay ahead, a potential for love that would transcend the bounds they had known. As Alex and Lyra's bond deepened, shadows began to cast over their newfound joy. Their time together, full of laughter and blossoming intimacy, was abruptly interrupted by the harsh realities lurking just beyond their serene life at the cabin. One evening, while they sat outside sharing stories and laughter under the stars, Alex's communicator buzzed to life, breaking the tranquility. The urgency in the voice of his superior sent a chill through him. Alex, we have a situation, The voice crackled through the device. "We've intercepted intel that the smuggling ring has gotten wind of your actions. They know you freed Lyra, and they're furious. You need to leave the planet immediately." Lyra's expression shifted as she sensed the shift in Alex's demeanor. "What's wrong?" she asked. Concern etched on her face. "It's the slave traders. They know about us, and they're coming for you," he conveyed, his tone tense. The realization that their safety hung by a thread made his heart race. "Why would they care? I'm just a product to them," Lyra responded, her voice cracking in uncertainty. "Because you're more than just a product to me," Alex replied, frustration and fear mingling in his chest. "They'll do anything to reclaim what they lost, and that includes capturing you again." In that moment, millions of thoughts raced through Alex's mind. He felt torn between his duty to protect Lyra and his mission for the Intergalactic Alliance. Should he prioritize her safety or fulfill his obligations? "I can't go back to that life." "I don't want to," Lyra whispered, panic creeping into her voice. "I've tasted freedom, and it's too precious to lose again." "Neither of us will let that happen," Alex asserted, reaching for her hands. "I promise. No one can make you go back. We'll face this together." But doubt clouded Lyra's eyes. "How can you make that promise? They will come for you too. I can't bear the thought of your life being ruined because of me." "Listen to me," Alex said, searching her eyes deeply. "I chose you because you are worth fighting for. We can figure this out. Whatever it takes, I won't let them take you back." The days that followed crept by with an unbearable weight. They fortified the cabin, creating makeshift defenses while Alex coordinated with the Alliance on how to proceed. Tension thrummed in the air, stretching every moment. Alex stared out into the endless night sky one evening, feeling both protective and helpless. Lyra watched him from a distance, anxiety plaguing her. The vibrant sparkle that once filled her eyes had dulled slightly. "What if I'm just bringing you more trouble?" she asked, breaking the silence. "Trust me, Lyra, that's not what you're doing," he replied, turning to face her. "You're bringing me purpose. It's not your fault that the past is clawing its way back into our lives. We will win this battle together." Their conversation dwindled into silence, marked by the tension that loomed over them. Days turned into a blur as they prepared for the storm that was approaching. Then the inevitable night arrived. They heard whispers in the darkness, and the ground vibrated with the humming of engines. Shadows crept around their cabin, figures moving with calculated precision, hunters closing in on their prey. Alex's heart raced as he donned his protective gear, instinctively moving closer to Lyra. "We have to stay alert," he instructed, keeping his voice low. "They'll come here. We must be ready." As if on cue, the door burst open, and masked figures infiltrated the space, brandishing weapons and power. "You're ours again, Lyra," one of the assailants, a slave trader, growled, malice dripping from his words. Alex moved instinctively in front of her, his body a shield. "You'll have to go through me first," he challenged, determination flooding his veins. The fight erupted, chaos unleashed as fists flew, and sparks ignited the air. Alex's heart raced as he wrestled with the attackers, adrenaline surging as he fought to protect Lyra. He caught glimpses of her fighting beside him, a fierce determination reflecting in her actions. She was not the submissive being they had once tried to bind. Together, they were a team, a force to be reckoned with. But amidst the chaos, one of the attackers caught Alex off guard, delivering a blow that sent him staggering back, the world spinning around him. "Alex!" Lyra cried, fear ringing her voice. As trouble escalated, Alex regained his footing, fighting through disorientation to reach Lyra. "We have to escape," he shouted, grabbing her arm. "Not without a plan," she insisted, her eyes unwavering. "We can't run blindly." "Then what do you suggest?" he replied, breathless and desperate. Lyra glanced around the room, strategizing. "We lure them outside, use the terrain to our advantage." Their plan solidified in the heat of the moment. Together, they initiated a ruse, leading the attackers outside, where they could exploit the dark corners of the forest and their knowledge of the terrain. Just when it seemed triumph was within their grasp, doubt crept back in. With a sudden clarity, Lyra looked at Alex, fear and determination intertwining. "You're not just here to protect me. You chose this life with me. I want us to be equal in this fight. We can do it together." The strength in her words fortified Alex's resolve. "You're right. This is our life. We fight for each other. Let's do this." And in that charge of adrenaline, they surged into the night, embodying the spirit of freedom they'd fought so hard for. The battle outside subsided into silence, broken only by the whispers of the trees swaying in the night breeze. After a harrowing escape into the dense woods, Alex and Lyra found refuge in a secluded clearing, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. As they caught their breath, Lyra turned to Alex, her eyes sparkling with emotion. "We did it. We fought together. I never thought I'd have the strength to stand up for myself like that with you." Alex smiled, pride swelling in his chest. "You're stronger than you realize, Lyra. We are a team, and together we can face anything." But as the adrenaline of the fight faded, so did the clarity of purpose, leaving behind a raw emotional landscape. A wave of relief washed over them, coupled with a sense of longing that had been simmering beneath the surface since their first kiss. "Alex," Lyra began, her voice soft yet resolute, "what does it truly mean to me? In my culture, it's a sacred bond, a joining of two souls, body and heart. But I've only ever seen it as a means of survival. Here, it's about love and connection," he explained, stepping closer. "Mating is about choosing someone to share your life with, to grow together, to face challenges hand in hand." Lyra's gaze drifted to the stars above, her expression contemplative. "I want to understand that. I don't want to fear love anymore. With you, it feels different." In that moment, a surge of desire pulsed between them, igniting the fire that had slowly built from their confessions and shared adventures. Alex reached for Lyra's hands, drawing her nearer. "You are my mate, Lyra. I don't want to wait. I want to embrace this bond between us, to celebrate our connection, if you're willing." Her blush illuminated her cheeks, a tender smile breaking across her lips. "I want that too. I want to feel all of this with you." The ambience thickened with longing as they leaned into each other, a breath of hesitation lingering before their lips met again. This kiss felt deeper, infused with everything they had shared, the struggles, the victories, the promises of tomorrow. As desire awakened fully, Lyra's hands found their way to Alex's hair while he held her waist, the fervent intensity of their emotions blazing like the stars above. They were two souls merging into one, instinctively drawn into a dance of passion that transcended their troubled pasts. Drawing back slightly, Lyra looked into his eyes, mischief dancing in her gaze. "Then we shall celebrate our mating tonight." Alex's breath caught in his throat, his heart pounding at the idea. "Tonight? Here? Why not? We've fought for this moment. We deserve it," she said, her voice a melodic whisper. "Then let's embrace it," Alex murmured, anticipation swirling in the air. With the moon bathed in silvery light, they surrendered to their desires, exploring the depths of each other's souls under the expansive night sky. As they entwined in passionate embraces, laughter mingled with gentle caresses, their bond blooming in the moonlight, a new kind of freedom. They found solace in each other, the wild abandon of love expressing itself through stolen kisses, heated whispers, and the soft cadence of their bodies moving in perfect harmony. It was as if the universe aligned in that moment, granting them the blessing of union. Exultant, Lyra murmured through breathless kisses, "This is our choice. We claim this bond as our own." "Yes," Alex breathed, running his fingers over her back. "Together as mates, we will forge our destiny." With each thunderous heartbeat, they sealed their bond, two souls intertwined under the celestial canopy, committed to facing the world side by side, unwavering in their love. The dawn broke over the horizon, casting a soft, golden glow across the clearing where Alex and Lyra lay entwined in each other's arms. The world felt inexplicably different after the intensity of the night. Freedom was no longer just a concept. It resonated with the weight of their vows made under the stars, the promises of mates willing to face any challenge together. Lyra stirred, her radiant eyes fluttering open. She smiled as she met Alex's gaze, an expression that spoke volumes of the joy filling her heart. This feels like home," she whispered, pushing a stray lock of hair from her face. Alex smiled back, filled with warmth. "It is home, as long as we're together." Their intimacy was a testament to the journey they had embarked upon, a metamorphosis from captivity to liberation. As they prepared to leave their temporary refuge, the sense of camaraderie and shared purpose filled them with renewed resolve. Days turned into weeks as they established a new life away from the shadows of Lyra's past. They traveled to a hidden settlement on a peaceful planet, creating a sanctuary infused with their experiences and love. In their new home, they embraced the diversity of their cultures, melding human and alien traditions into their daily lives. As they engaged with the local community, Alex and Lyra became advocates for those seeking to escape the clutches of bondage, sharing knowledge and experiences. Together, they offered hope, inspiring others with the story of their love, a bond that flourished against all odds. One day, while teaching the children about human customs, Lyra felt a flutter in her heart as she watched Alex interact with them. "You'd make an incredible father," she observed, a light flickering in her eyes. "I want that for us." Alex turned to her, his heart leaping at the thought. "I want that too, Lyra, to build a family with you, to raise our children surrounded by love and freedom." Time passed, and as they worked together to create a brighter future, they often reflected on their journey, the trials they faced, and the choices they made that brought them to this moment. One evening, as they shared a quiet dinner beneath the stars, a mere echo of the night, they claimed their bond. Alex took Lyra's hand in his. "No matter what comes our way, I'll always choose you," he promised earnestly, determination glimmering in his eyes. "And I'll always choose you," Lyra replied, her voice steady and reassuring. "Through love, we've found freedom. Together, we can shape our destiny." In that shared promise was the genesis of their future. Whether they faced challenges or triumphs, they knew love would continue to guide them, unwavering and forever strong. With the shifting stars above, Alex and Lyra set out to explore their lives together as mates, founded on the conviction that love, in all its forms, could conquer darkness and bring forth light. This union, born from the ashes of captivity and nurtured by their resilience, became a beacon of hope for a galaxy yearning for such connections. They embodied a testament that freedom is not just a state but a choice, one that blossomed into a profound love that could withstand anything thrown in its path. And so they ventured forth, not just as individuals, but as a family in the making, ready to face whatever the universe had in store for them, with hearts ignited by love and a bond that could never be broken.